Welcome, ladies and gents, to the Rebirth vlog, episode number 7. So, it's also cold exposure day number 7. It's my 7th day of me pulling through and jumping into a cold shower or into a cold bath every day. Also today, of course. And we are going to talk about that, of course, about the cold exposure thingy that I'm doing again, because I think it's such a game changer and nobody's doing it that it's worth talking about it. Then I'm going to talk about TGL and Rebirth, my 2 albums, and what differentiates them and what is the whole deal about it. I don't want people to be confused about it, so I'm going to explain you what is going on there. We're going to talk about my Patreon. I have a Patreon and I'm going to plug it shamelessly every video now because I want to build up a community there. So if you're interested in getting behind the scenes and extra footage, early access to music, learning material, all kinds of cool stuff, then please head over to patreon.com/Parandroid and check out the different tiers. And if you can, then support the project, would be amazing. We are also going to talk about UFC 286 because I'm a UFC fan, and yeah, I'm going to talk about a little video project that I'm working on and about the VA that is coming out. And I'm going to tell you 2 anecdotes about 2 German organizers that are quite big organizers, and their behavior speaks for themselves, let's say like that. And I'm going to tell you a couple of anecdotes. So, Day 7 of the cold exposure, of course, by now I can say, wow, that's amazing. And I'm not going to stop because it's so good. I rather increase the amount and the duration of cold exposure. And I challenge everybody that sees this video, to do a 30-day cold challenge. And just don't be a wimp about it. Simple as that. It's just cold water. And if you can't go through cold water, how should you be able to go through anything in life if you can't even do that simple thing? So I am challenging you to do that and to share your experiences with the people around you that are dear to you and that you love, to inspire them to maybe do it as well. Cold exposure, what changed for me in those 7 days already? Quite a bit, I have to say, for such a short duration of time. First of all, I feel way more motivated, which is helpful to say the least, and a lot more in myself somehow. I feel like I can tackle the world, and it's, I think, an important feeling to have if you want to do anything with your life, right? So that is good. Then other changes. My sleep is almost perfect, but I had sleeping problems in the last months, but then I completely, took back my sleeping pattern. And now it's A grade. It's literally A grade. I'm falling asleep at around, yesterday for example, 11 p.m., the day before at 10 p.m., so very early. And getting up at around 7, 8 a.m. at the moment. And that's amazing in my opinion, because I need sleep. I need my 8 hours to function really on a high level. So I think that is also connected to that. Like, my sleep became even better. And I give you a small tip that probably is not an eye-opener for many, but for a few. And this is sleep with your window open also in the winter time. It will increase the brown fat in your body, which is a good thing. Google it, brown fat. Important for our body. It's basically the good fat. It's the stuff that we should have a lot of in our body in comparison to, I think, the white fat, which is not as desirable. And then furthermore, it's a lot about oxygenation. I guess that's a word, because you will obviously get more oxygen. It's kind of smelling nice, that fresh air in the night. I don't know. I'm quite lucky here because I'm a little bit off the city center of my city, and I'm surrounded by parks. The whole city is one of the cities with the most parks where I'm living. I guess in all of Europe, to be honest. It feels like it, at least. I don't know. And yeah, it's quite cool. So like when I'm opening the window, it's in my sleeping chamber, in my sleeping room. It's to the back of the house. so there is not even a road or something like that. In Germany, you often have those backyards, huge backyards behind the houses, where you have like loads of gardens and stuff like that, and balconies, of course. And that's how it is here as well. So I'm getting fresh air, actually, which is amazing. And those simple things, really, it comes down to that. Yesterday I was talking to a friend, and I identified like something like 6-7 different things that make up a functioning individual. And it is sleep, cold exposure, believe it or not. It is meditation and breath work, for sure, breathing, very important. It is nutrition and diet, so like what are you eating? How much processed food are you eating? What are your cholesterol levels? And do you have all essential fats for your brain to function well? All essential minerals and vitamins for your body to work well? So then what else? Exercise. Let's talk a little bit about that. Because most of my life I was a lazy bugger and I didn't do enough exercise. And I was running into severe problems because of that. Back problems, of course, and also in my right hand. So don't do that. Now I am exercising and I'm really putting up the pressure. Like I start to really enjoy it because I understood another thing, and that is, like I said it before and I'm going to say it again, controlled pain, basically, like pain from, for example, cold bath, like an ice bath, or like training. When you're training, it's pain. It's the sensation of pain actually that you're having. If not, then you're not training really well, because you need to feel your muscles in a way. You don't need to destroy them, you don't need to be sore or something like that, but if you are not pushing to where you are actually feeling a little bit of pain sensation in your muscle, then you're doing it wrong. The good thing is with this controlled pain and pain release, that is stabilizing our dopamine metabolism. And it comes down to that. It comes down to having a stable metabolism up here mostly, but also here and here together, body and brain working in perfect harmony. Yeah, this stuff, you know, nothing of that is new to me. Neither cold plunge is new to me. I learned it in a very organic way. Nor breath work, meditation, nor exercise, nothing of that is new to me. But I am starting to really understand the importance of all those pieces of the puzzle and how they all fit together, and how man is a machine and you need to, you know, basically give it what it needs. It needs the right fuel, which is oxygen and nutrition, and it needs the right maintenance, which is exercise. It's like that. Give your body and your mind the environment in which it can succeed if you want to succeed. Another thing is, okay, you want to change something in your life. You want to go for a different outcome. Then you need to change your behavior. And where do you start? You start with those small things. Like take a cold shower every day. How hard can that be? I can't believe that nobody is doing it. I can't believe it. But it is like that. People are wimps, it looks like, because most people, you know, they can't do it. It's too hard for them, and I can't believe it. So, as you can see, taking cold showers gives you also tremendous self-confidence, because if you are doing what I'm doing, deliberate cold exposure, that means not 10 seconds after taking a hot shower, taking a cold shower. I did that before, and that's healthy and all, but that's not deliberate cold exposure as what I am practicing right now. Just try it, guys. To be honest with you, I find it funny that nobody's trying it. It lifts up your self-confidence, because you're literally in the minority of people who have the balls to go in ice cold water for their own health benefit and success. So that's funny by itself, that you are like, you know, part of a small percentile of humanity who has the balls to jump into cold water, although it's the most natural thing in the world. So that's that. I always need to take care with this camera. I barely trust this camera because it loves to shut down on me because the battery is empty, or the SD card is not working, or something always happens. So I'm like a little bit paranoid. Guys, for all the people that accept my challenge of a 30-day cold plunge challenge or cold shower challenge, and I'm talking about proper deliberate cold shower, that means at any time of the day, go into the bathroom without taking a hot shower or anything, get naked, get ready, jump into the bathtub or shower, and turn it all the way to the coldest possible, and give yourself a nice adrenaline boost. And do that for 30 days and watch what will happen with your mind and with your body from that very simple thing. And I'm not saying that cold exposure will fix everything and is the one, end all be all cure. It's not, but it's a fantastic piece of the puzzle. So if you have that and a good diet and exercise and sleep, you will see it's enjoyable. Much more enjoyable life than being like all whiny and depressive and all that. And that most of the time comes from that. We don't do the right thing to give us the environment that our mind and our body needs. So I have a Patreon. For those that are fans of Parandroid, consider supporting me. I'm working now on a lot of really big things, and that goes all of my pocket, the investment, and it's really quite tough to do what I want to do, which is visionary, and do it on my own, which I really, really love to do now with all my experience that I gathered over that long period that I am working on this. I need the help and the support of my fans and of the community. If you feel like supporting me, it starts from $3, I think, or €3. Head over to patreon.com/parandroid. Check out all the content that there is already, which you can directly unlock by, by pledging. And there is stuff like Hireth and unreleased tracks from my upcoming albums, which I only share with my Patreons. So check that out if you feel like supporting me. This little money that probably doesn't bother you a lot goes a long way for me. So please consider that. And if you don't feel like supporting me on the Patreon, you can always head over to parandroid.net/shop or just parandroid.net and have a look around and see if you find some merchandise or other things that either help you or that you like and that you love, and then you can order them. So, we talked a lot about serious stuff. Now it's time to talk a little bit about Usman versus Edwards. I am a UFC fan, okay? I know not everybody is a UFC fan, that's fair enough, but I am. For me, it's the greatest combat sport at the moment, one of them. There is a couple of other ones which are super underrated, but the whole spectacle, I mean, it is entertaining. Dana White did a fantastic job. I'm not saying that he's an angel, because he's not, but what he built up from dust is quite astounding, to say the least. We just had a victory of Jon Jones literally days ago, against Ciryl Gane, which was apparently a bit too cool, maybe, with the whole situation that he's fighting against one of the all-time greats. I felt like that. I really loved Ciryl Gane, and if you would ask me who I want to hang out with, I'd tell you, definitely of those two, I would rather hang out with Ciryl Gane and play some PlayStation with him than with Jon Jones and listen to some of his, brainwash stuff about Christianity or stuff like that. No pun intended, everybody can believe what he wants, and I'm not going to judge him, but am I going to listen to that all the time? Probably not. So I'd like to chill with Ciryl Gane for sure. And I was literally dreaming, that Ciryl Gane would win this. It would have been an upset, it would have been interesting, it would have been really good also potentially for Jon Jones' career in a more bizarre way, or not really good for his career, I guess, but I would have found it much more interesting for Jon Jones. So yeah, I just wanted Ciryl Gane to win, okay? It's like that. Let's be honest, I dreamt that he won, and I was waking up and I thought he won. He didn't win. It was becoming clear after my first cup of coffee that Jon Jones still the GOAT. But for me, he's not a heavyweight GOAT, because he was in the division in the octagon. He was in the division for 2 minutes in his life. he has to go match up with Stipe. Once that is done, he has to do one more heavy contender, like a real heavy hitter, and then we can talk about GOAT status in the heavyweight division for him. I think his ego is outsized. Don't blame him for it, but I believe his ego is a bit outsized. And I really hope you could really see how Ciryl was like, wow. He was very disappointed in himself, and he took it like a man. Like, whenever a reporter asked, was it maybe because of your hand? Was it maybe because of that and that? Was it maybe because of this? And he always stood up and said, no, I simply underperformed. I fucked up. And I think he took it quite hard, which is understandable because it would have been a huge game changer for his life. And of course, but I really hope that Ciryl is not stopping, has no plan on stopping. He's a great fighter. He is young and fresh in the career. He came late into the UFC. He's an outstanding striker. He has huge holes in his wrestling game, huge holes also in his BJJ game. He has to work, there is no question about it, but I want Ciryl to come back and with those holes stuffed, with his wrestling holes stuffed, and then I want to see him fight again as a more complete fighter that he very well can be and hopefully will be. Edwards, now I talked so much about Jones and this fight. Usman versus Leon Edwards is actually what I wanted to talk about. Usman is a really good fighter, and the Usman versus Edwards 2, I can give you a quick run-up, explanation of the fight. First, he tackled Usman. Edwards tackled Usman, took him down in the first round, and he dominated him in the first round. And it was a show of real power from Edwards and a very good start. Then the second and the third round, he got his ass a little bit handed by Usman. And then in the fourth round, his coach gave him a little prep talk and he got up. And in the right moment, he gave a head kick to Usman.
I told you it's possible. We can win a bout from the UK. I told you. Now look at me now. Look at me now. I told you I could do it. I told you. Pound for pound what? Pound for pound what? There is no pound for pound. The belt belongs to nobody. That's it.
Which knocked him out completely cold. And no human being is immune to that. If you are getting that kick with that placement and that unfortunately step where Usman was actually evading kind of into the kick, which is the worst thing, if there is a knee coming towards you with a couple of 100 kilometers an hour and you are actually moving inside of it and not outside of it. So the collision force is tremendous, and if that sits somewhere here, it slides out. It's just like that. And champion or not, GOAT or not, if you are either unlucky or not good enough to protect yourself and you're receiving one of those, it slides out on a mechanical level. So that is what happened. Big upset. But Edwards being the underdog in this fight, I guess Usman also was an underdog at some point in his life. But I'm always a big guy that is behind the underdog. And although Edwards is the champion, I want him to keep the belt a little bit longer. Keep it around the UK for a bit longer. Edwards seems, I can be completely wrong, but he seems like one of the sweetest guys, like a very soft-spoken person. He seems like that. He's not that, super brutal, kind of guy. He's a typical underdog, an outsider. exactly the character that I could identify with, to be honest with you. He's coming from the streets, you know, like he was growing up in really bad areas of Kingston, Jamaica, and then his family moved to the UK, and his father was involved in gang and criminality stuff, and ultimately got killed because of it. And he's coming from nothing, and I always like feel such a bond with those people, because my life story is nothing else than that. I'm also, you know, I had to fight for everything, and I'm coming from a real shit show basically, and had to, like, you know, get over it and do what I want with my life. So I feel a connection there. I can't wait for Usman versus Edwards. That will be amazing. Okay, and real quickly, because I promised it in the beginning, 2 anecdotes from 2 organizers in Germany, because people, you know, they're like, for a good reason, asking themselves, well, why is nobody booking Parandroid in Germany for the summer festivals, when it's absolutely clear that I would deserve that? And there's no question about that. Like, absolutely, I think nobody with a brain would question that. So, there's people who are trying since years, for no good reason, to, like, you know, damage me and hurt me, bring me down, defame me, whatever they can. And often it was me who gave them what they want, gave them a reason to, you know, gave them what they asked for, basically. So, 2 organizers in the field, one of them I found out, like, because I was like, okay, what's your problem? I never did anything to you, I played for you. Everything was alright, despite the fact. Now listen, now comes the story. The reason why one of them is not booking me is I played for him, and I was on a typical tour. I came from another booking, from, I don't know which was the other one. So it was the second booking, and I was just, like, on tour doing my job. And I was on stage with a couple of other artists, and I waited for my payment, and I got my payment, and 50 euros was missing. And I really thought at that time nothing about it, and thought that it's a mistake. And was going to that organizer, of course, and told them, there's 50 euros missing from my fee. And not in that voice, just very nice and easy, because I didn't think that would be a big deal. I just thought the guy did a mistake. I just didn't expect him to, that it was, you know, that he wanted to do it. And that apparently is the reason why he's not booking me. It's because I was like, you know, those people are incredible. A person like me who never learned to shut up, and I will not learn to shut up, especially in those cases. Like, many people would have, you know, maybe not asked for it, or not be as intent when asking, but that's not me. Like, first of all, yeah, that's not me. If there is a deal, then better stick to that deal. Basta, that's the end of the story. To take that as a reason to not book me tells you everything about the organizer that you need to know, okay? The other organizer, which is also a label owner, one of the more important ones, said, well, you always need Extrawurst in Germany. You know what the Extrawurst, the extra sausage in the extra was? I was booked again on a tour, coming back then with my wife, and he had an issue that I'm bringing my wife, which is the most normal thing. And I expected, because I knew that I have a hotel room, of course, that my wife can stay with me in the hotel room, which is like kind of a no-brainer. And I wouldn't know, you know, like that should be a problem. And that was his reason to hate against me. Because I told him, man, it's a little bit funny, we were working together for 12 years now, you're coming with what exactly? What is your issue again? And then he's saying, yeah, you know, it's not only me. Then he told me that story with the other guy, and I knew exactly what it was about. He tried to cheat me and didn't come through with it, or made a mistake and didn't come through with it, and then hated against me for that. The other organizer, yeah, it's so shameless that he's saying, you're an asshole because you brought your wife, back then my wife, with me to stay in my hotel room with me, and that would be asking for too much. So that is the level of disgrace that those people are willing to put on themselves. That they are like, you know, they want to hate me forever, not good reason, because there is not a lot. And yeah, with this guy I worked 12 years, 13, 14 years. He made thousands of euros because of me. And then in this situation, when other people hate on me that are beneficial to him, he decided to just pull something out of his ass, like this story with my wife, so that he has a reason to say, oh, why I would be so deplorable. Yeah, it's very deplorable to take your wife with you on a gig, right? It's so terrible. Yeah, shame on me. I really understand those organizers to not book me and to hate on me. But it's nothing new on the other hand, and I'm fine with that. Those are the two anecdotes that I promised you. 5 minutes left on the clock. Guys, thank you so much, because in reality, let's keep it real, okay? I received tremendous support from the culture, and I'm nothing short but thankful for all. And now still I'm getting so much positive reflection, fan messages, comments, and I need the support. I'm doing great things and I'm on a pathway to conquer the world right now, and I can only do it with you guys, with the support of you guys. So please head over to SoundCloud, to Facebook. Also here, comment under the video, share the video, and just spread good vibes. But also, you know, it can only succeed in a group effort. I do what you can see I do. If you are following me on my Instagram, you see that I'm constantly in the studio working, and I'm not doing that for no reason. I know what I'm doing. I know that what I'm doing is the best what I can do as a human for humanity to give something back. So consider supporting me, please. And supporting doesn't cost anything. You can go over to patreon.com/Parandroid and become a supporter and get directly in touch with me and get awesome rewards. But you can also just, as I said, go to do the same thing on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook, you know, follow me on Instagram. The links will be down in the description. All those things from the community help me to do what I need to do. And what I am doing, I'm considering important. And thank you if you are doing that and supporting me. It's greatly appreciated. As you can see, I'm coming up with those vlogs more frequently because I think it's a great way of reflecting about what I'm doing. And also, it just kind of, it's fun to talk about the things that interest me and share them with you. So there will be coming a lot more vlogs like this, guys. So subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I challenge you, don't forget, and if you accept, put it down in the comment section below. If you have any questions, wishes, feedback, also put it down in the comment section below. I see you in the next video. Biggest love, a big hug from Paralab Studios in Germany. I see you guys soon, hopefully.